This is Mark, and this is my famous photographer video project. So yeah, for mine I decided to focus on Mario Testino. He's a fashion photographer and often does a lot of work with portraits and such. I found his work interesting because when he did photos that are really up close on the face, he usually added filters and post editing to bring out the color and such. And most of his techniques that he used throughout his work, it brought out the masculinity or femininity within the actual subjects of the pictures themselves, which I found really appealing on multiple cases. But anyway, that'll be discussed. Mario Testino was born in Lima, Peru. He was one of the 6 children that his mother and father had, and he was the oldest of his siblings. However, he eventually moved to Paris to start his career in photography and apprenticed under many different photographers. Through this time period, he supported himself as a waitress, and he was extremely poor. And for 7 years, he lived in an abandoned museum. So he eventually moved out of poverty. While he was discovered while working as a waitress, he showed one of his photos to one of his customers, and they liked them, and so that's how he began working for a magazine called Vogue. The name of Mario Testino's father is Mario Testino, and the name of his mother is Teresa Sylvia. While he was a child, Mario Testino originally wanted to be a priest, but he was really creative when he was a kid and decided to move on into photography. When Mario Testino was young, one of his brothers died, and that impacted him to now work with many charities for children. In 1978, he married Anne Carol Turner. He was 24 and she was 22. This is when he moved to Paris for his apprenticeship. Interesting fact, Anne Carol knew that he was gay, but didn't see this as a problem because they thought that they would work it out. However, they eventually divorced but remained good friends. On his creativity and so forth. Also, most companies don't like to interact with him due to sexual allegations. Testino's photography techniques were influenced from his mentors in London, but he also tried to draw inspiration from the culture of other people. Also, he tried to tap in to the masculine and feminine qualities that each of his subjects had. This is why most of his subjects appear to be dominant, assertive, and so forth in his pictures. Although there are some critics that like Testino's work, such as Susie Menkes, Vogue's international editor, there are some critics that have stated that Testino's focus on more commercial shots have taken away some of his quality. In the past, his pictures were done to capture different aspects of culture, but nowadays it seems like it's shifted more to business. Middle ground, Mario Testino made use of contrast to make Bowie stand out against the background. His white clothes add to this effect as a contrast with the black shades present within the background. You can see the transition against the wall and such, where the flash occurred. Picture represents the elegance within musicians, mostly because of how Bowie's fingertips are postured and the type of clothes he's wearing. There appears to be a lot of emotion within Bowie's face. They're known to be creative. So in this picture, he emphasizes on the subject's wealth by use of the red clothing. The red clothing is very expensive because of the red dyes and such. And plus, well, you know, they're Gucci clothing. Testino manipulates the space between the objects to emphasize the feminine power that the woman has. This makes her seem more territorial as she is looming over the male counterpart. This is actually an example of juxtaposition because during 19th century and 18th century, women were thought that they can't do anything. Well, she's obviously doing something in this picture.